You are live.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? Hello, everybody, and a happy 4th of July to everybody in the United States of America. This is the only kind of American accent I can do, so I'm going to be doing it the whole drive. I hope you enjoy it. My name's James. On camera, we got Brian with his American thumb. That's a great American thumb you got there, Brian. Well done. It's very nice. Over there, we got some hippopotamus, we got some buffaloes, and we got some elephants, and some waterbuck as well. That's enough of that. Right, welcome to it, everybody. We're on to the Sunset Safari on this, the 4th of July, 2016. And, of course, in America, celebrating the independence from Great Britain circa 1776. That is a very, very long time ago. Anyway, I hope you're having a wonderful family holiday there in the United States, and in honor of your holiday, we are going to be doing a small competition between Jamie and I. It's called a mammal race. We have got the long lens, so I'm hoping we're going to be able to win it. We're also going to do a bird race. So, we've had hippopotamus, we've had waterbuck, we've had elephant, we've had buffalo, and over there, crossing over at the far side there, we've got some kudu. So we're on to 5 mammals already. So that's pretty good going. Please do talk to us. You're on a live safari if you're wondering what on earth you're looking at here. Hashtag Safari Live, questions at WildEarthTV. Jamie Patterson is going to be presenting from the other vehicle. She's being filmed by the lovely, luscious brunette locks of David Eastaugh, and in the final control, the terrifying figure of Kirsten McLennan-Smith, ably assisted by the guns of Louise Pavid. Welcome to the 4th of July special. Here we go. Our plan this afternoon is going to be to head to Cheetah Plains, but I think we're actually going to sit here for a little while because there's quite an array of animals going on here. Now, this particular waterhole is going to become a serious focal point over the next little while. As we've discussed, there is a serious amount of dry, that's a terrible way of putting it. We've had a very dry rainy season. We're into the middle of now our dry season, which is going to be drier than normal because of the poor rainy season preceding it. So this little pumped waterhole is going to become a focal point. For a hippo to be here now is very unusual. In fact, I'm going to sneak forward so that we can get a better view of that hippo. He's just going into the water there. This is not an ideal hippo territory by any stretch, and he was in that water until those elephants chased him out of it. They were deeply unimpressed to find someone else in the water. The buffalo bulls are going to spend a lot of time around here because this is where they like to be. They must have water if they're going to cope with the very poor quality of the forage. And as long as there is poor quality, or as long as there is some water, they can cope with just about the worst kinds of forage there is. But if the water starts to run out, then those buffalo start to struggle. Beautiful afternoon, very silent afternoon, and that's because, well, it's the middle of the afternoon and everything's in the midday lull. Right, Brian, we've got first bird over there, Burchell starling on the ground. Let's hit that one. There we go. And now, Brian, I'm going to ask you to do a zip pan. Whip pan, sorry. To a red-billed hornbill. Kirsten, you have to keep tally, right? I don't have to count these, correct? Eating termites. Red-billed hornbill eating termites out of, I don't know. Looks like it must be a ground-dwelling termite, perhaps Odontotermes. Then we've got red-billed oxpecker on top of the buffalo bull over there. I really am asking you to do a lot of whipping around, Brian. There it is. It's on that beefalo there. And we luckily have the long lens. This is, of course, cheating. And we will, just to remind you, we do have a fireside chat for 15 minutes at the end of this drive, 4th of July special and all that. And then, Brian, to the left of that, we've got a Natal Franklin on the ground, if I'm not mistaken. Keep going underneath, fossicking about in those branches, that pile of dead sticks. Keep going left. You got him. There we are. Yes, Natal Franklin. We're doing okay, everybody. We're doing okay. I don't suppose bird calls count, do they? I could give you Oriole, but I don't think we can count them. Kirsten says, absolutely not. Don't be ridiculous, you imbecile. Sorry, Kirsten. Alright, let's go across to Jamie for the next 3.5 seconds so that she can find something also for you to look at. But come back quickly because I don't want to lose this competition.
Well, now that James has established himself a rather hearty lead in our mammal and bird competition, I have seen absolutely nothing on my way to Arathusa. But hello, my name is Jamie, and this afternoon I have Dave on camera with me. Dave, there's a bird. There's a bird, Dave. Dave, it's a chagra. They never sit still, Dave. Oh no. Where's it gone, Dave? There it is. It is hopping about in the base of all of those dead leaves. Oh, and I can hear a go-away bird calling. You've got it. Well done.
Slightly obscured.
There is a go-away bird, everybody. Tick that one off our list. Fantastic. Once one down, couple of hundreds to go. Well, they're all go-away birds. That's terribly disappointing. Where's the chagra gone? That definitely counts as well. We're off to a dramatic start with our go-away birds. I don't want to lose this competition. James is on 9. I am on 2. I'm not even sure that the chagra really counts, but we're on 2. Are we going to take it? I don't even think we should take that one, Dave. Oh, Kirsty's accepted it, and Kirsty, of course, is the adjudicator of all things, since she is the director, so we've accepted that one. We're now on 2. James is on 9. Let us not delay. Let us carry on driving. And we are off on our live safari. Oh, no, you see, Wendy's clutch isn't right. Anyway, no, now it's stuck. It's stuck in... Oh no, this doesn't bode well at all for our competition. The gear is stuck. Dave, just for some evidence, my foot is in on the clutch, right? Try that again. It's hydraulic. We just need to get the pressure up. There we go. Ah, voila. Okay. Onwards, but not too far in case we have to be towed home. I do know what the problem with Wendy's clutch is, by the way, and Steph is on his way to rescue us with a spare part. And since we're driving along and having this very special competition, just to wish all of our viewers a very happy 4th of July. And of course, since Wild Earth is a global community, that goes for the viewers watching in the States as well as our many viewers in the Philippines who celebrate Republic Day on the 4th of July to celebrate their independence from the year 1946. I'll leave you to do the rest of the history reading yourselves. And then, of course, our multiple viewers in Rwanda who celebrate Liberation Day on the 4th of July in order to celebrate their liberation around the time of 1994. So a very special day for lots of members of the various Wild Earth community and viewers. Right, Drongo! Drongo, there's a Drongo! Oh, there's the Drongo. Fantastic. Tick number 3. Dave, there's more there. There's more there, Dave. Oh no, no, Dave. Those were some female weavers that just fluttered off into the distance. Do we count them? Maybe not. We'll settle for 3. Ah, Kirsty's counting them as well. I think, you know what, I think Kirsty might be on my side. And of course we have the added advantage of the lovely Chelsea green on the back of the vehicle as well. So Chelsea, earn your keep. Very soft little voice coming from the back saying, I will. Now let us see what we can find. Oh no, James's lead is building. James has found something else. Let's go and find out what it is.
Does it move? Everybody, there was a black-collared barbet there, of course, but I've been sabotaged by girl power. The link didn't come fast enough. You see, they knew I had a bird, and so they didn't link to me because they knew. Black-collared barbet. It goes to puddly, to puddly, to puddly, to puddly, to puddly, to puddly, to puddly. But it ain't going to puddly nothing now, is it? No. It's a disaster. Now, Brian, I wanted to ask you, is it okay if I wear these because they're American?
I don't think they look that bad.
Don't you?
No.
Yes, okay.
Marvellous.
No, I don't think I'll wear them. We're going to roll gently down this hill. There. There it is. It's in that tree there. I've spotted it, Brian. Can you see it? No, that's a bush. Go to the left. Did you see it there? No. I can't see it anymore. It's in that bush, I promise you, everybody. It doesn't count if we don't see it. There it goes, it's flown away! Did you see it fly? Did you see where it landed? Shall I stop? Back? Oh? Stall? No. Never mind, everybody. Never mind. We'll try and find something else. So we're on 9 creatures, are we? 9 creatures, Brian. Avian and mammalian. That would have been number 10 if girl power hadn't gotten our way, sabotaged us. Sisters doing it for themselves, etc., etc. Marisha in Texas, you want to know what the reward is for the team that wins. Marisha, the reward is the satisfaction of knowing that you have won, A, and B, you get an extra tot of apple juice this evening around the fire. Fine, would you like an extra tot of apple juice this evening?
Oh, yes, please.
Yes, please. You see.
And bragging rights.
And bragging rights, of course. What have you spotted? I thought Brian had spotted something, everybody.
I just got too excited.
At the thought of that extra tot of apple juice. Yes, I know what you mean. It makes me want to drive very quickly. Of course, one mustn't drive very quickly if one wants to spot anything. Ah, Crested Franklin, on the road, number 10. Here we are. Right, let's move on. Slender mongoose. I saw it, doesn't count. See if you can see that. No, we're not linking to anybody, Kirsten. We're staying right with us. There's a slender mongoose in here. Kirsten's going to struggle to get a link. She's going to have to crash cut away from me. You may just suddenly arrive with Jamie, everyone. Kirsten, I promised there was a slender mongoose in here. No, it's gone. Alright, let's go across to Jamie and get an update from her.
And hark! The diversion tactics of one who knows that he is doomed to lose this competition. Because everyone knows the underdog always wins, right? Exactly. And whilst the extra tot of apple juice is most appealing, perhaps the bragging rights are what we are all looking forward to having over each other. Strangely enough, you wouldn't believe this, but there's mongoose! Oh no, don't go away. Okay, sorry, mongoose. Here we go. Now, does that count as 4? Or are we really pushing things a little bit now? Even Kirsty's not quite willing to bend the rules quite to that extent on my behalf. So one of my favourite little animals to spot, and I don't want to race off because despite the competition, this is still about learning about the different wonderful animals of the African bush. But just in case it does fly away and I don't really want to lose the competition, Dave, in the far distance on the road, there is a dove. It is wandering about. Down a bit. There we go, on the left. an emerald spotted, oh no, almost, now it's in the right. There we go. Now it's in the center of the screen, sort of towards the top. It's quite alright. It is very far away. That is an emerald spotted wood dove before it disappears. A bird considered to be of enormous bad luck in the local culture. You're not meant to listen to its entire call or else your house might burn down, which is of course not at all true. They're lovely birds and there's absolutely nothing that is bad luck about them. So back to our dwarf mongoose, who haven't been quite so quick at disappearing. Having a jolly good groom. And I think probably enjoying the increase in temperature that we have all enjoyed over the last 24 hours. This morning was positively freezing. I was relatively certain that I was going to lose an extremity, but fortunately we've all returned home intact, and the temperature has warmed up beautifully. And I almost wish there were more hours in the day, because I would love to just spend an entire morning or an afternoon with these little chaps and just watch them, just one colony, and get an idea as to what exactly their day-to-day life entails. This, by the way, I think might be the same colony of dwarf mongoose, where if you cast your mind back many months ago, we saw the dwarf mongoose with a very white face. I've never seen him again. It was totally unique. It was with Tebs on camera with me, and it was on Halloween, and he looked like he was wearing little Halloween face paint. Pure white face. It was absolutely incredible. And ever since, every time I come across to Arathusa, I stop and I look to see whether or not he is around. He or she is around. I can hear a woodpecker. Should we go search for the woodpecker? Oh, so many things to see, so little time. Torn between wanting to win this competition and watching the dwarf mongoose. To the airstrip with us? Well, that is where we often find animals. There's a drongo, we've already done that one. A Cape turtle dove, which I generally make a habit of driving past, to be completely honest, since there are many of them to be seen. And they're just not just your standard dove, but they are the standard dove of this area. But since this is a competition, we shall stop and find you as many things as possible. We are up to 7, Dave. We're catching up on James. Right, so to cheating in China, you were wondering about, I've got to get out of that habit, sorry. You wanted to know whether any of our animals are fitted with GPS trackers. Yes, one in particular, a very famous little leopard called Sindile. He's not so little anymore, and that was because it was very, very unusual circumstances. He caught a domestic dog or a stray dog that had wandered onto the reserve. And as a result, because that dog tested positive for rabies, he was put in quarantine and then released back into the area 8 months later. And due to his age and the fact that this is one of the most unique situations, he's been fitted with a GPS tracker so as to monitor his movements and his success in returning to the wild. The batteries have, I think, since run flat. So we no longer get any updates from Sindile's collar, but it was a marvelous way of learning a bit more about the way in which a leopard adjusts, having been in captivity for 8 months and then released. Other than that, there's the odd collar, so a frequency transmitter or a GPS transmitter on some elephants and some buffalo, almost invariably due to research purposes, or for research purposes, because the act of fitting an animal with a GPS tracker is a relatively invasive one, and it's not something we would want to subject our animals to unless the benefits outweighed the negatives. I want to resist linking, but I can't do that because that would be bad sportsmanship. James has something else.
Yellow-billed hornbill. There we go. There you see, yellow on its bill, ergo, yellow-billed hornbill. Number 11. I think it's eating little combretum pods, which is quite interesting. I've never seen anything eat those before. And they're not normally very frugivorous, these birds, but I suppose they have to be at this time of the year. Otherwise, it's rather quiet out here. Okay, I'm going to pop my head over the edge of Twin Dams here. Damn it. Jamie's got something else now.
Haha! I do indeed have something else. Bravo to Dave, who has put us back into the running once again with a lovely family of warthog. One that some of you may be familiar with. They spend a lot of time around the Arathusa airstrip, which is where we are headed to. 2 sows and their collection of piglets. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe these females actually had 7 between them at one stage. That number's now down to 4. But the 4 remaining piglets are almost out of the woods in terms of the age that they've reached, or at least the most dangerous time of a young warthog's life. So they often form these little sounders. The females can be related to each other, but are not necessarily. Oh, minor panic. It's okay. Crisis averted. All is well in the world. And they, I have to say, are probably one of my favorite animals to stop and look at. And whenever I see them, I automatically think of Tara Dales, the lovely lady who used to direct our shows at one point. She has since left Wild Earth, but she did absolutely love a good warthog sighting. They were her favorite things to see. So this is for you, Tara, wherever you may be. Oh dear, James has found another one.
Cheapers, it took them about half an hour to get to us. The squirrels nearly died of old age. There's a squirrel, everybody. Tree squirrel. Hooray, number 12. I think they're rather splendid little creatures, especially when they knock me up a little peg or two. There we go. Tree squirrel it is. Jamie will no doubt find a leopard now, or something equally impressive, but a leopard's only 1 point. Let's see what else we can find on our way to Cheetah Plains. Maybe a cheetah. That's still only 1 point though. No, you can't do community nest spiders, not going to work. And thank you, safari lover Elaine. You say a big shout out to all the kids in Virginia Beach, Virginia, who watch this show and have watched it and enjoyed sort of some of their class time with us. I agree. Big shout out to all of them. And as Jamie says, to the Rwandans, and they've been through a hell of a time over in the last 20 or so years. So big shout out to them. And I didn't realize it was Philippines Independence Day as well. I don't know the Filipino national anthem. Do you, Brian?
I don't.
Are you able to sing it? No.
No.
I've forgotten it as well. Now, the trick is to find something before Jamie does again, because I know that once they're on her, you see, Brian, what happens is girl power takes over, and our animals that we find die of old age before they link to us.
It's true.
It is so true. Hello Gracie, aged 8 in Ohio. You say whoever finds a cinnamon bun bird gets 1,000,000 points. Well, I agree with that. I haven't seen a cinnamon bun bird for some time, Gracie, but we'll do our best. You say we're going to have fireworks and apple juice? No, we might have apple juice. We're not going to have fireworks, Gracie. We don't have fireworks out here because it makes the animals a little bit scared. So we're not going to make any fireworks out here. But we'll light a fire in honor. Are you having fireworks, Gracie? I hope everybody is having fireworks tonight. Well, quietish fireworks. We know they do make animals a little bit terrified. Brian, this is the only drive I've been on when I've never seen an impala. Alright, apparently I need to link back to Jamie now. See you just now.
Look, I found another one. I found another species for our list. In this case, two chaps who I don't think realize they are actually on international internet television. But there you have it. They are included in our... They are included, right, Kirst? It's a species, nobody specified. Definitely included. Also found a cat. Haha, that joke's definitely been made before. But we found a cat. It is currently occupied in sorting things out. Right. We'll move on. We'll find you something a little bit more exciting than human activity. I'm uncertain as to what they are doing on the Arathusa airstrip. But I think it, oh, I can't change my route at this point. We have to go this way. Otherwise, we're just going back the way we've just come. And apparently, the same species does not count twice. I presume that means for each person, rather than I'm now barred from elephant, waterbuck, and all the other multitude of things that James managed to add to his list. Oh no, it does mean that. Kirsty, what are you doing to me? So James got the hornbills as well. Oh no. I just won't stand for this. We'll have to find a leopard. We could get a grey hornbill. Great. Let's give them a quick wave. Oh dear. What that means is that my clever plan, my cunning plan of coming to the Arathusa airstrip and ticking off all of the species that might be around here has been somewhat sabotaged. Oh, woe is me. James has already ticked off that starling as well. Alright. Come on, Dave. We're not giving up that easily. We might just have to do a very rapid circumnavigation of the Arathusa airstrip, which is completely devoid of all life. Uh-oh. Okay, we seem to be okay. We went through a bit of a signal dip there. Roger, in Tampa, you were wondering, as we race along searching for... I hear lapwings. I see a lapwing. James hasn't got one of those yet. There you go. A crowned... No, that's a starling. Sorry. James has got one of those. They're sitting on the mounds of earth over there-ish. There-ish. There we go. I'm sure I saw movement there. Oh no. There we go. There we go. Fantastic. Right. So we've crossed the crowned lapwing off our list and apparently off James's list as well. Now, as you can see, just while we have a look at how much grass there is, you can see that things are incredibly dry, even here on the open area of the Arathusa airstrip. Roger, in Tampa, no, I have never experienced a drought of this magnitude. Apparently, the last one that is comparable was in 1992. I was 2 years old at the time, so I'm not sure that I'm going to count that as my drought experience. And in theory, this might actually be the worst drought in about 100 years. So no, I have never experienced a drought as severe as this one, which is both tragic but also educational, because I think we're going to be getting an idea of how incredibly well an ecosystem like this will be able to recover from a situation such as the one we're experiencing. And that, of course, is the joy of Safari Live, because it's not about coming to visit for a limited period, maybe 3 days, 4 days, a week, 2 weeks. You've got the opportunity to watch for months at a time and progress of drought. And before I get too distracted by this competition, we appear to be going through some rocky signal patches, and since that's happening, oh no, come on, he can't have Impala too. Alright, over to James.
impala, everybody, and roller flying. Oh, it's gone. We missed it. Oh. Right, we've got impala. We're on to 13. I promise you, there's a real girl power problem going on here, everybody. I said when Jamie got human being, I mean, ridiculous. She got human being. Kirsten came to me. She's got 10 now. She's nearly caught up to you. It's very unfair. Don't you think, Brian?
I do think so.
I feel we're fighting against the odds here.
We are.
We don't care though, do we, Brian? Yeah, there's the roller. It's on the edge of that very large dead marula tree. You see it? Yes. Kirsten, tell Jamie we've got 14. There it is. Lilac-breasted roller. And no amount of girl power is going to take away lilac-breasted roller from us, Brian. Oh no. Oh no. Let's move on. Now they're called rollers. Well, because they roll. They've got this amazing display that they do, normally in the summertime. But I was walking with Herbert yesterday, as I told some of you this morning, and we were going through a couple of Shangaan bird names, and that one I did know is Veve, and it's because of the call that it makes, and it's like most of these Shangaan words, onomatopoeic, it goes such a beautiful bird, such an unattractive call. I knew a girl like that once, Brian. It wasn't splendid at all. Right, next one. Next birdie, next mammal. Hello, Tim in Kansas City. You want to know what our main holidays here are? Well, I suppose the main holiday is the 24th of April. That is our sort of Independence Day, if you like. It's a bit like yours. And I think we call it Freedom Day, and it was the day of the first democratic elections here in 1994. So that's a very important one. Then the 16th of June is called Youth Day, and it's a very important day in our calendar because it commemorates the 1976 Soweto uprisings, where a whole group of students they were basically massacred by the apartheid police for protesting against what was a pathetic education system that they were offered. And then I suppose the next one we'd celebrate is the 24th of September. The 24th of September is Heritage Day, and Heritage Day is when we all celebrate our heritage. So if you happen to be of Scottish origin, which I am, then you might celebrate that. Otherwise, if you're a Zulu, you might dress in your Zulu garb, or if you're a Xhosa, you might do the same. And likewise, if you're an Afrikaner, you might build yourself an ox wagon or something like that. And then I think the next important one, I don't know what they call it anymore actually, is the 16th of December is a major public holiday. And it is called, Brian, do you remember what it's called? It might be, Family Day, I think it's the 26th of December. I don't know, but those are the major holidays that we have here. And there are a number of others, but those are the major ones. Might be Workers' Day, I'm not sure. No, that's in May. Christmas Day is still a major holiday. I mean, you guys have got Thanksgiving. I'll come back to that. Jamie's got a bird.
Look, we found the other species of hornbill, barring of course the ground hornbill. It's a grey hornbill, really, really far away and really well hidden behind the leaves. But it counts, because I promise you it's a grey hornbill. Hiding behind the trees. Well done, Dave. Definitely a grey hornbill. There you go. You can see at that point that it is in fact a grey hornbill. Alright, so that concludes our sort of listing of the smaller hornbill species. Elephant. Oh, it doesn't count. And James Richard, you're saying now we just need to tick off the southern ground hornbill. We do. I nearly saw one this morning at Cheetah Plains, and unfortunately I couldn't find it. I could hear it calling, that deep kook sound that they make. Now, southern ground hornbill, of course, is very exciting, not just because it would put me in the lead, but also because they are one of our most endangered bird species. Speaking of bird species that are not endangered, Brent has found one. Oh dear, it seems as though James, and he is of course James, I'm pretty sure I called him Brent there, it's James, he doesn't have any signal, leaving us free to approach this lovely elephant herd. And even if it doesn't count towards my total, we're still going to go and have a look at it because I love elephants. And as far as I'm concerned, seeing one will make any day absolutely complete. So we're going to go have a look at them anyway. Just making sure. I've nearly come around this corner and had a car accident before, which is very unusual out here. But of course we get out of the habit of looking both ways before we go onto a road, which we probably should do. And this is one of the main roads on Arathusa. I'm just making sure that there's no other vehicle coming. Hello, Elise. And for those of you who've been watching the Arathusa dam cam in between safari times, it looks as though these guys have been having a marvelous time in the dam. Hello, girls and boy. Alright, over to James while we make an approach.
Battalier, 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 everybody. Beautifully caught by Brian Joubert in full glorious flight. Look at it go. Oh, that's incredible. Isn't that wonderful? Look at it go. I can't even see it with my naked eye. Which is fantastic. Look at it just hanging there in the air and so low down. The only bird out here that can fly that low. And that completely gracefully. You see how it's adjusting all the time. Slight adjustment, slight adjustment, slight adjustment. No tail. Very unstable. That is just the most fantastic picture. Doesn't seem to be getting any further away or closer actually. Must be just sort of circling in one spot. Beautiful, Brian.
Oh, thank you, James.
Yes. Super. On we go. I think let's go back to Jamie and her elephants. Just remind her that unfortunately we had those first. Ha 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 ha.
I saw that elephant that James put on screen, but I didn't have the long lens to stop for it. I was out first. Okay, that's fine. If James wants to be a sore winner, that's okay. He's forgotten that he has to go and set up fireside chat and I don't. So, you know, I'll have an extra few moments to help me win this competition. Lovely collection of big bulls, actually. At first, when I approached, I thought girls, and I just sort of thought to myself, my goodness, these are large ladies. But they're not. It's a bachelor herd of elephants, and they have pretty much obliterated 2 combretum trees next to each other. I mean, really, they totally have. There's hardly anything left of these poor trees that found themselves the center of attention of 5 large elephant bulls. There's something incredibly peaceful about a sighting like this, and it just goes to show that I will always put the needs of our viewers first, even if it means that it's a species that doesn't count in the competition. Munching and crunching away. And Miss Jin, while we watch our Ellie balls size each other up and munch away at the bush willow, Miss Jin in Texas would like to send a big 4th of July shout out to all of her friends watching on YouTube. So I hope you're having Ustream, sorry, not YouTube, Ustream. I can't seem to get my words straight this afternoon. So a big shout out to all of Miss Jin's friends watching on Ustream. I hope you are having a marvelous day. And that these elephant balls make it even more so. All roughly around 20 years or just older. A couple of 25. Some of the larger ones might be closer to 25, even up to 30. Beautiful gentleman. Oh, trunk full of sand. And I wish I could have been at Arathusa Dam when all of these gentlemen were having a mud bath, because it looks as though some of them went right in to the dam itself. There's one elephant bull that I always look for whenever I come across groups like this. I haven't seen him in a really long time, but I think he has been seen on a couple of the live safaris. There's an elephant bull with a really ragged ear and a completely dislocated or broken right hip. And he still walks on it. I think it's healed up. And he just walks with a limp because his one leg is longer than the other. But there's something very special about that particular elephant bull, and I haven't seen him in a long time. And the reason he comes to mind now is this is where I first saw him many months ago. It's amazing how used to, or how familiar you become with the different animals in the area the longer you spend looking at them. And I think because we look through the eyes of the camera, we actually are more aware of the nuances of each individual animal. I think, boy, that bush willow is pretty much done for. It has been well and truly stripped. This is what we were talking about this morning on the sunrise safari. The fact that with this drought, we might actually see a change to the habitat completely. It will have an effect on it that will last for many, many years. And that's particularly because the elephants of this area, because there's no grass or nutrients within the grass, they're going to be targeting trees more and more frequently and clearing large areas of land. And if you combine that with the fact that the Kruger National Park has closed a whole load of its waterholes on the western boundary, so the boundary with the Sabi Sands, we're going to be seeing more elephants as well coming in search of water. So this drought could actually shape this environment for years to come. He is having a wonderful time there, stripping away bits of bark. James has found another feathered friend.
Quickly. White-crowned shrike, everybody. Very lucky. And I must just confess it is a slight advantage we have over Jamie and David in that we have the super zoom camera. That bird is roughly the same distance away as Pluto is, and yet we've managed to get a relatively good picture of it. So that is the white-crowned shrike. Is sitting on a marula tree, and we are here on Cheetah Plains now, and we're heading for the clearings, hoping for ostriches and cheetah, and perhaps wildebeest and jackals, and all sorts of wonderful things like that. We might be lucky, we might not. It's quite cold here, and I was just saying to Brian this morning, Jamie kept reporting on the radio or via Louise in the final control that it was windy down here, and I kept saying, but are you sure it's windy down there? Because it was perfectly still on Djuma. There's no question it's windier here than it is up there. And I mean, we're hardly, oh, hoopoo. Hoop hoop. Whoop whoop. Did you see it fly? Okay, Kirsten says you saw it. Right, we're taking it. That's number 35, I think, isn't it, Kirsten? 35, right?
35.
Yeah, 35.
Maybe 36.
Maybe 36. Oh, 16. Damn. Close. Anyway, it's quite breezy up here on Cheetah Plains, and that's astounding to me because it's really not far away. As the crow flies, we're probably no more than maybe 4 miles, if that. So I guess it must have to do with the height that we are, and of course the big clearings that there are around here. Just in front of us. Of course, I've told myself that I wouldn't be competitive about this thing, and that I didn't really care who won, and now I'm unable to be like that. Although, of course, it would be an honour to lose to Jamie Patterson. Brent was here, it would be a different story entirely. We'd be going at it hammer and tongs. But we should be right today. Even if Jamie wins, I shall graciously accept defeat. Oh, Brian, there's not a lot out here at the moment. For the odd hoop-hoo. Okay, we're now going to go towards 3 in a row pan. See what we can spot there. Some of the last remaining water. Oh, quickly, go across to Jamie, she's got a great bird.
And that was a very rapid link. Thank you very much for that, James. It sounds as though James has been quite magnanimous about this particular competition, saying that he wouldn't mind losing to me. That is, of course, because he's winning at present, so he has to say that. We'll see how things go when the tables have turned, naturally. Well, there you are. One of the prettiest of all of the bird species, and definitely one of the most striking. A black-headed oriole that will forever make me think of Sam, of course, Sam Chevalier, who was with us for a relatively short period of time, but he absolutely loved black-headed orioles. So there you go, that one was for Sam. Right, what's next? Just by the way, I left the elephants. They were moving off into some very dense vegetation. All of a sudden they decided that it was time to go, leaving us free to go and search for other animals. Apparently James is on 16. We are now on 12. We have 4 more to catch up with him to draw level. And then, of course, it's a matter of seeing who wins. Okay, we're starting to get to the tricky stage with the birds. We've kind of ticked off most of the obvious ones. There's a squirrel. James has already done a squirrel. The squirrel that supposedly nearly died of old age. Oh, Dave, I've got a cruel one for you. Dave is going to hate me after this. Where has it gone? Oh, goodness. It's in that tree in the bush that is in front of us. If we keep zooming in a little bit to the right, the center of that bush, I think I just saw it fly away. There it is, there it is. You saw it? You all saw that? That was a chin spot battus, everybody. You definitely saw that, right? That definitely counts. Small little black and white bird called a chin spot battus that just flew off. And if you don't believe me, it's still there, but they don't really sit still. And we don't have the super zoom. The chin spot battus is still playing hard to get. However, James has elephants, and of course I'd just like to remind James that you can't count the same species twice.
But I can count the blacksmith lapwing that is standing behind that elephant. There it is. Ha 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 ha. So we've got that one, and a massive herd of elephants. Look at this, everyone. Sitting at 3 in a row pan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, about 32, I think. I keep pulling out my microphone. Hang on one sec, Kirsten, I can't hear you, don't say anything. There we go. What else have we got here, Brian? Just hundreds of elephants. Dozens of them. Chris, thank you for your question. I'm just looking for yellow-billed oxpeckers, perhaps, on these beefaloes. There are also beefaloes here, by the way. Chris, you say, how long does it take for an elephant's tusks to erupt, and when do they erupt? Chris, they erupt. There's a whole lot more Ellies coming now. Chris, an elephant's tusks apparently erupt at 18 months for a cow, and at least for 18 months for a bull, and 2 years for a cow, I've read. I'm not sure that that's entirely true, though. Because I think I've seen older elephants than that with no tusks. So, well, that's what I've read once in a textbook. Now, this is interesting. See how they've turned to face this young bull coming in? Young bulls creating consternation. And it's not unlike when I think, you know, if you're a sort of group of adults and young kids, and then a whole lot of big bruising sort of football players come swaggering into an area, it just makes everybody feel slightly uncomfortable, and they you know, the parents will circle around their kids and kind of be protective of them. That's exactly what happened there. 3 young bulls came in to have a drink, and the rest of the elephants thought, well, let's just see what's going on here and make sure that everyone is safe. Does blacksmith lapwing on a nest count as 2 or just 1? I think 2, maybe 4. Alright, let's go across to Jamie. She's got a primate.
In this case, I have a primate that is not a human being and is in fact a vervet monkey, sitting in its usual spot around the Arathusa lodge. So this is the Arathusa dam troop, one that we've become quite familiar with over the last few months. They're always around, and that, of course, is the back of Arathusa lodge, just by the way, in case you're wondering about the various things. So we just wanted to show you that. A primate of a different description. We've got 2 primates now. Back to James and his elephants.
That's quite cheeky thing. She got 2 primates. Anyway, I suppose she did. Ah, very nice that. It's a nice wilderness scene, don't you think there, Brian? Elephant playing with pipe. Super. Now, quite apart from the fact that that is not the best scene in the world, if you look at that elephant, I think that elephant's about 3 years old and doesn't have any tusks erupted yet. So, yeah, I'm not sure that you can accurately say exactly when they erupt, to be honest. There, you can just see them. They're just coming out now. Just below the skin there. That is a ridiculous scene. That's one of the pipes, obviously, that supplies this little pan with water. Beautiful, calm, pleasant scene here at 3 in a row pan. Hello, Bridge, you're in London. What a nice question from you. You say, do elephants live longer than crocodiles? Bridge, they don't. Crocodiles, believe it or not, can live to over 100 years. Now, that is an astonishingly long time for any animal, but reptiles, you'll find, are quite long-lived. Tortoises, leopard tortoises, we think can probably live for up to that length of time, and crocodiles certainly at least 100 years. Elephants in this area, 55 to 60 years, probably just about the maximum they can get to. That's a nice question. I've never thought of it like that, Bridge. Thank you. Alright, I think let's move on from here and head towards the clearings. The elephants have been remarkable over the last little while. They're a real joy to have around. Let me just call those in. There's the dove, but I think Jamie's had ring-necked dove. That's what that was. Unfortunately. And watch out here for a three-banded plover, Brian. Oh, parrot! It's in that. It'll be in that. It'll be in that marula tree somewhere. Let's just stop and have a quick look, everybody. If you can see the brown-headed parrot, whose most obvious feat. You've got it. You're a genius. Brown-headed parrot, everybody. Ha! Well done, Brian. Now the brown-headed parrot, of course, has the most obvious feature being its bright green back. And you can hear it calling there, that very metallic call. I don't know if you know what I mean by the metallic call. It sounds like it's almost like a metal chisel hitting against I don't know, an anvil, I guess. It's like a scrape. It's quite a harsh metal sound. Beautiful. Alright, let's go across to Jamie. She's got a water buck, which she can't have, but she can have the other thing she's got. Dash it.
And the waterbuck might not count, but please don't tell him that, because he must be one of the most magnificent male waterbuck that I have ever seen. And then, of course, the giraffe behind him, which definitely does count. But before we go over to the giraffe, I just had to show you this waterbuck bull, because he is truly spectacular. Look at the power in those shoulders, and that dewlap that actually extends right down to his chest, giving him an enormous appearance. The symbol, of course, of the Sabi Sand, where we find ourselves right now. And a magnificent specimen like this, you can understand why that may be. Isn't he beautiful? Old boy. Deep ridged horns, absolutely massive. I'd be guessing, but I'd say he must weigh 250, 300 kilograms, close to 600 odd pounds. He's huge and gorgeous. Right, well, our giraffe was slowly making a tentative approach, and oh no, we've changed direction. An almost tentative approach in towards us, having a quick nibble of the leaves. A female, in this case. And I've totally lost track of what we're on in terms of totals, but that's okay. This is getting ridiculous. James continues to maintain a lead of 4 points. Oh, there goes our waterbuck bull. Alright, let's go sneak up a little bit closer to our giraffe, see if we can't get a better view of her. So, James on 18, Jamie on 14, and yet the Arathusa Dam awaits with where bird species abound. And hopefully that fish eagle that's calling in the distance is going to make an appearance. Alright, oxpecker, are you yellow-billed or red-billed? Whoops. Okay, girl, don't panic. It's alright. Quite an old giraffe cow. She's very dark in colour. Some, of course, are darker than others. She's also relatively large for a female giraffe. And they do have a tendency to darken a little bit with age. Alright. She's quite shy. She's not terribly comfortable with the vehicle around her, so we're not going to try and sneak up too close, but we'll follow behind because she's walking on the way to the Arathusa Dam, where there are jacanas, which I doubt James is going to find before me on Cheetah Plains. In fact, I'm relatively willing to bet he is not going to find on Cheetah Plains. I'm just thinking, something like a pangolin. Okay, just a pangolin. A pangolin is like the golden snitch in Harry Potter, and if you don't get that reference, basically if you catch the golden snitch, then you inevitably win the game. Now that knowledge, I suppose, makes me a giant nerd, but also the fact that I think the pangolin should be like a giant snitch, no, a golden snitch, and if we find one, we get 150 points, essentially entitling us to the game. Winners of the competition. So Dave, get on it, please. Dave, being the only person so far who has spotted a pangolin, therefore has my utmost faith and trust in his ability to pull that off one more time. It is, of course, a huge ask of Dave. Here's another female giraffe over there, munching away on the guarri bushes. They tend to be one of the few species that actually often eat the guarri leaves themselves. Of course, lots of things feed off the guarri berries, including human beings. They're quite sweet and tasty. And generally, the animals don't tend to feed off the leaves of the guarri trees all that frequently. She's got quite wonky ossicones on the top of her head. Her horns slightly bent inwards, and that's probably as a result of a genetic defect rather than any kind of injury. It's those ossicones, rather than being called horns, in contrast to our waterbuck that we saw earlier, are made of solid bone, and a giraffe is born with them rather than growing them. Just so you know, I've been working on my giraffe silhouette hand puppetry, and you might be treated to that at some point in the next few days on a sunset safari. Haven't quite got it right though, and that of course is a reference to a sunset safari that occurred a few days ago, where we had a giraffe walking past in front of the sunset, and it looked so much like hand puppet or a shadow puppet. It was absolutely phenomenal, and you'll never be able to unsee it. Once you see it, you'll never be able to unsee it. Okay, onwards from our giraffe and through to Arathusa Dam to see what awaits us. Of course, James has already ticked off hippopotamus. And speaking of James, let's go and see how he's doing.
We stopped here at the pan, everybody, but there's nothing unique going on over here. Mud, quite a lot, but otherwise nothing going on there. A couple of doves which we've already had. There's a crowned lapwing in this clearing which we've already had. So now we're going to go down to the clearing just below here and see if we can't find maybe the Temminck's courser. Scouring the clearings, I thought there might be some at least zebra or wildebeest here, but I think because it's a little windy and cold, you'll probably find they're all sitting in the thickets here, and they'll pop out maybe for a drink a little bit later. The fact that that pan's got no water in it means that that clearing is going to become fairly unused. Hello Kathy in North Carolina. You say, where are all the baboons? Now that is a very good question. We heard some alarm calling this morning south of us, south inside Little Gowrie, which is the reserve to the south of us. Now we now know that Karula's gone in there. We also heard a male lion calling in there, so maybe those baboons were seeing the lion or that leopard. But, you know, they're not that common around here. We don't have a huge number, or, well, we don't have a permanent, oh, there's a Cape Glossy starling, sorry, on the ground there. Not Cape Glossy, it's a greater blue-eared glossy starling. Greater blue-eared glossy starling. So we don't see a great number of baboons because there isn't a permanent water, a permanent river flowing through here, and so they don't have those huge big fig trees and things that they like to sit in. Right, now if I'm not mistaken, that's a greater blue-eared glossy, and in front of us there's a Cape Glossy, if you can believe it. Look at that. I'm claiming both of those. Now the reason you know the difference, no it's not, that's a greater blue-eared as well, everybody. I'd love to claim it. but I'm not going to. I don't know. See if it calls. Brian, on the base of the termite mound there's a little brown bird. It's a rattling cisticola on the ground. Can you see it? Yeah, you got it. Well done, Brian. That is the advantage of this cheating with the super zoom camera. Alrighty, let's move on from here. But we do get baboons coming through, and you know what? We've had them coming through more and more over the last little while. Come on, Rusty. That's it. On you go. And they've definitely been coming through for... Oh dear, I feel like my lead is going to be eroded now. Let's go to Arathusa Dam with Jamie.
You just flew away.
Oh no. Fishy, oh it's okay, he's coming towards us. He's coming closer, Dave. It's okay. There we go. We have found our African fish eagle, one of the most beautiful of all of the eagle species, and of course with the most iconic call that I would love for you to hear again. Unfortunately, it'll be accompanied by the sounds of angle grinding from elsewhere. Isn't he beautiful? We'll go and get a closer, we'll hopefully go and get a closer view of him in a moment. But we have arrived at Arathusa Dam, and I have to tell you, it's sort of bleak out here. We've got the standard Egyptian goose. Well, there we go, we can tick that one off as well. Just one pair at the moment, settling down to bask in the afternoon light. That is the Egyptian geese. At one point there were, I think, I love that fish eagle call. We'll see if we can't get closer so that we can hear it clearly. Oh good, you did hear it clearly. The most distressing sight, I have to say, arriving at Arathusa Dam, is the poor hippo that is in the mud. I barely realized it was a hippo. I thought at first it was a rock, but that, I think, is the hippo, the hippopotamus. Shame. Life is really getting very tough for these poor animals. There's very little space left.
We got that bird, Jamie.
We do have that bird, Dave. Unfortunately, that is a Cape turtle dove. Very sad. And then, oh, we've got the catfish as well, which I don't think count as a bird species or a mammal species. But again, one of the sad sights of the drought. You can see them splashing around in there. A scene similar to, for those of you who were watching last year, as Treehouse and Twin Dams and the Voyatella Dam and Buffelshoek Dam all dried up. We watched as the catfish slowly struggled. And I feel as though the poor guests of Arathusa, unless they go in and clear away those catfish, or clear away the catfish that actually die. Oh no, there's guinea fowl over there. Quickly, Dave, quickly, because Kirsty wants to send us to a steenbok. There you go, guinea fowl, and then across to James.
There is a steenbok, everybody. That is all that we've managed to find in the clearings here. We're just scanning the landscape, though, for signs of other creatures. Okay, let's carry on. Very nice to have had guinea fowl for you and Jamie. Very unpleasant for us that you have had guinea fowl with Jamie. Not so, Brian. It's deeply unpleasant. Yes. I feel very hurt by it. Here are the Great Plains of Cheetah Plains, which miraculously are empty. Now we're still only 4 ahead. Every time we find something, Jamie finds 2 more things. It's dreadful. I feel a dreadful sense of pressure. Right, we're going to go and look in the next clearings and see if there aren't a herd. Ooh, no, those are starlings we've had before. I was hoping to find ostriches here. Nah, nothing. Oh, I can hear We will see them. The magpie shrike. They're here, Brian. Can you hear them? Can you see them? Oh no! Where are they, Brian? Scan everywhere. I think they're... Where? Where looketh thou? Temminck's courser? No, it's not. But it's not something we've seen before. It's a ground... Where is it? Where are you looking? There, okay, I got it now. Wait, everybody. It's a pipit. African pipit. Pipit 22. Pipit. Now we're going to find these magpie shrikes which are calling. That's a pipette. Ooh, there we go, Brian. There's a Temminck's courser. Yeah, there it is. See there at the junction, 2 Temminck's coursers. Very nice, Brian. How beautiful are those birds, everybody? Look at their copper colours. I can see another pair across the road inside Mala Mala. That must be the Mala Mala pair of Temminck's coursers. These are the Cheetah Plains coursers. I think they're an astoundingly wonderful colour. I can hear many magpie shrikes calling. None of them... Oh, there we go. I've seen them, Brian. See that? You got it. Right, magpie shrike, everybody. Oh dear. There we go, magpie shrike. Well done. Many creatures we have got. Many creatures more we need. It's a lovely afternoon out here. It's quite chilly breeze blowing, I must tell you. Those Temminck's coursers are brilliant. Joey, you're in Australia and you want to know what the chance of seeing a sesame are on Cheetah Plains. Very small, Joey, I'd say almost negligible. Sesame, a bit like the roan and the sable and the hartebeest, not water dependent, need to be away from other water dependent grazers like impala and zebra, and so we just don't see a lot of them around here. You used to see quite a few, and you see them very nicely in Botswana, in the Okavango. You see them beautifully there. That's the pipette. You can see why he might be termed an LBJ. Not so. Now, Kathy, you're in Michigan, and you want to know what characteristics make a shrike a shrike. Kathy, the most notable thing about a shrike, I mean, I'm sure there are a number of sort of genetic things that make a shrike, but the most characteristic thing is the tooth on the end of the bill. And all shrikes have got this tooth on the end of the bill. They're carnivorous, largely. They will eat, like the grey-headed bush shrike will actually eat other birds. Most of them will eat insects and sort of reptiles and that sort of thing. But they're all sort of carnivorous. And those are the most notable things about the shrikes. That's that hooked bill. That's the most obvious thing. Some of them migrate, some of them don't. But the hooked bill is what distinguishes them most obviously from any other. I keep getting this microphone cable of mine stuck. It's going to result in my losing my temper very shortly, and then there'll be trouble. Let me plug myself back in. Right, I'm back in, Kirsten. Sorry about that. There must be a zebra here. I've seen thousands of zebras around here. That was quite a good return there, Brian. What are we on? 48 now?
49.
49. Excellent. $49 versus what? Was Jamie on 3 or something? It was 2. 49-2. We're doing very well then. And Kirsten says Jamie's on 300. That's of course absolute rubbish. He's still my heart. Now, we're coming into the next clearings here. And with any luck, there will be a great plethora of zebra knocking about with some wildebeest in tow and some ostrich. Ooh, and Carol, you say thanks to this competition, you've managed to add 3 birds to your bird list and you're up to 129. That's fantastic. I'm really impressed with that. Ooh, these clearings are rather devoid of life this afternoon. Oh well, can't win them all. Sometimes can't win any. Ah, there is a Senegal lapwing. Senegal lapwing, everybody. And while you're looking at the Senegal lapwing, I shall scan the rest of the clearings. Beth, you want to know when the plovers were renamed to lapwings? Beth, they weren't all renamed to lapwings. It's the little ones. You know the plovers that you get on the coast? Those smaller birds, they're actually a different family. And so something like a common, what should we say, or three-banded plover, there we go. Three-banded plover is very closely related to those coastal plovers, the small plovers, lots of white on them. And these birds, the lapwings, are actually an entirely different family. And so that's why they were renamed. And that was some time back. I think it was around the year 2000. They're rather special, aren't they? They've all got such nice individual characteristics. So that's the Senegal lapwing. Don't see anything else going on in these clearings. We'll move up ahead. And they've got a very similar strategy to the courser that we saw. They run along the ground and catch ants and termites and that sort of thing. They can fly very well, but they don't do a great deal of flying when they're looking for food. Come on, Brian, where are your ground hornbill friends?
I don't know.
I think they don't like the cold.
Yeah, must be.
Alright, we'll just stick our noses in here and then we'll turn probably back towards the west. Ah, there's a little bee eater. Have you got it there, Brian? Straight in front of us, 2 very small, 1 dead stick, 1 living one. That's it. Up a little? You got him? Ah, well done. Little bee eater. Kirsten, you keep count. That's number 386 for us. Kathy, you you want to send a shout out to your friend, whose name is to Kerry. Sorry, Kerry, you want to send a shout out to Kerry. Okay, Kirsten, just go with that again. I'm afraid the comms are not great. Terry with a T and Kathy with a C. To Patty with a P. And who's sending the shout out?
Happy.
Terry is sending a shout out to Patty for introducing her to Safari Live. There we go, thank you, and I hope that you're having a wonderful 4th of July and perhaps you're watching together. Sorry about that. Terry and Patty, as opposed to Kerry and Kathy. No, it's not that I'm going deaf, it's that we're at the far eastern end of Cheetah Plains and it's impossible to hear what Kirsten is saying. Okay. Let's move on from here. We'll go into the clearings of Nkoro. well, not into them, we'll just look into them. If we drive into them, we'll be arrested, Brian. And then we won't get any more birdies and things. I thought I saw something in this tree. It's so very bright in my eyes. I didn't, it was a piece of the tree. How surprising. This is a particularly confiding giraffe cow. Look at her. She's standing so close to us. And I'm sure she's the mother of that other little one lying down. She's feeding on a tree that the elephants have mangled many times. And it's a Combretum calinum, I think a variable bush willow. Look at her. That was all disdain, wouldn't you say, Brian? I'd say that was a look of absolute disdain. Very nice. Now, we know, of course, that giraffe don't love that sort of the tannin that you find in those sorts of trees, and so she won't be able to eat on it forever. And because it's winter time, you'll find that the tannin levels of the trees have dropped, and so she'll be able to eat more of these than she would in the summer. And you very seldom see them eating Combretum leaves in the summertime. I don't know if you can hear it there, but she's chewing and you can hear the crunching of the leaves. Look at the light behind her too, it's just very beautiful. Wonderful. So nice. Great stuff. Alrighty, on we go. Let's see what else we can find around the corner here. Duiker, of course, still up for grabs, everyone. Wildebeest, zebra. What other antelope? Nyala, bushbuck, sable, sharps, grijsbok, unlikely, gemsbok, pronghorn antelope. I don't think I'm trespassing now, am I? No. No, but I will be soon. Let me turn around here. That's the Kruger boundary there. Now, we don't want to go into the Kruger National Park because if we thought we were going to be arrested on Nkoro, well, it'll be a new level of arresting if we're going to wander into the Kruger Park. It won't be very nice, Brian. I don't fancy an evening in the cells. Alrighty, so we're going to head off to the west. We'll go back past the pan there into the clearings and then probably make our way back sort of towards Djuma in time for the fireside chat, where we will be talking about cubs. We've had some lovely cubs, so we'll have some George and Charlotte highlights. Valeria, you say that if Jamie wins, then I have to wear her beanie. I'm just waving at Ephraim there from Cheetah Plains. Okay, I'm happy to wear Jamie's beanie. If Jamie is happy for me to wear her ridiculous beanie with that enormous pom-pom on it, it's become quite a character, that thing, hasn't it? She says I can wear it. Oh, apparently it's not Jamie's beanie. It belongs to Kirsten Mack Smith. Therefore, it is inevitably a beautiful beanie. There are some, unfortunately, Natal spurfowl, which we've seen already. Shall we call them Shelley's Franklins and get on with it? Or what?
Or
Kogi Franklin. Melanistic, not leucistic. Leucistic Kogi Franklins without gold head. Fossicking around in the elephant dung. They're looking for probably dung beetle larvae, which they're not going to really find. Termites they'll definitely find in there, and various other beetles and things that like to eat the dung. It's actually quite a nice sighting of a Natal spurfowl. We'll just ease our way around them. You see they didn't run away, very confiding. They're habituated, Brian. Habituated Natal spurfowl. Feel like we need to add to our tally almost immediately. Let's get around the corner here. I've no doubt there's going to be a great plethora of creatures